What's up, everybody? Today on Make It Cozy, we're going to make some personalized dog tags out of scrap copper pipe. I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so let's go ahead and bust this out. So I figured I was going to use 1/2-inch copper pipe for this because it's pretty readily available and it's cheap. So if you want to go ahead and make some yourself, you can just cut out little pieces like this. And I'm going to make myself a blank first. And what I mean by a blank is basically just a template. Just something to take the guesswork out of it later for reproducibility. In case I'm so inclined to make more, I can just take another piece of pipe, cut it, and go to town. Stamp it. Boom. Done. So, I figured at this point, it would be nice to talk about some frequently asked questions concerning dog tags, particularly, when did they first come out? And for the United States, this was more towards like the Civil War era, where folks are going to go off to war, and in case they get their face blasted off, they wanted a piece of scrap metal tied around them somewhere where they could be recognized for burial. And then once the thing came up, it was like, okay, so how did the name dog tags come to be? And whenever they started becoming the standard issue, like we're talking like more towards like World War II times, it looked like a dog collar, and you know, you're going off to war, so you're basically being treated like a dog, hence the name dog tag. And another thing was, well, what are they made out of? And back in the day, they were primarily aluminum. It was just like aluminum stamp, piece of sheet metal, boom. You've got your information on it. You wear it. That way, if you get blown off the side of the boat, then, you know, somebody could recognize you, provided they find your body. And as the things go on, you know, people start asking, well, if a Navy dude gets blasted and it's going to be in the water, is it rust proof? And it's like, well, nowadays they are, because they are an alloy of copper and nickel, so that they have a little bit of rust inhibition for that kind of thing. The reason I blur that, and for those who don't know about military dog tags, is because it has my social on it, so please don't try to look under my fingers. Roughed an outline. Took the long edge. 2 centimeters. Nope, that'd be massive. 2 millimeters. That way I can cut the excess, and then you'll see me clip and then roll it over. Bend it over the edge. So with that being said, about my social on my personal dog tags, it's like, yo, well, that seems like a huge security breach, especially nowadays with, like, you know, stolen identities on the interweb and stuff like this. Dark web is trying to get me. It's creeping over me. What's going on with my militariness? And they say, you know what? Let's go ahead and take out the social. I'm going to give you a DOD number. So the way it is presently, as far as I've been told, is that it is a DOD specific number to your person. There it is. There's my piece. I'm going to use this as my blank. And once I get my stamp set, I'll even label it as blank. That way, I just have it for all times. That way I don't have to keep busting mine out all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, here it is. All right, so now we're ready to get to work. So I got my blank. I got it handy. I'm going to use it to cut the pipe, straighten it out, flatten it out, boom, trace it out. So now that we're ready to roll. And I'm going to bust 2 of these out just like it is traditionally. And you know what? I kind of thought about it afterwards, and I was like, am I really going to round out the edges with a little hammer and take that time to be that meticulous? And I was like, you know what? With my skill set, probably not. But I'll bust these 2 guys out. I'll smooth them later. And for those military folks out there, you know that they sell the dog tag protectors, mainly to keep them from jingling and jangling to where you're going to drive yourself crazy. But for those of you that don't know, that is a thing. You can get them. They're just made out of rubber, and they just stretch over the edges. But I'm going to go ahead and transition here with my cool camera slider that I made in a previous video for less than 10 bucks. And I'm just going to get my stamps ready to roll for quick access. And while I was thinking about it, I got the stamp set and I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do for my first project to put this out there? And I was like, I could do a name. I could do like a pet's name or something. But I wanted a little bit more, something more personal to me, and just something that I like to throw out there. And I thought about it. I was like, you know what? Let's make this a little bit more personal with some music, because I really enjoy music. And I was like, well, what song am I going to do? Am I going to do it like a song title, an artist, a lyric? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with the nostalgia aspect. So I used the Sunday song, Here's Where the Story Ends, because I like it, and it is nostalgic. And for those of you from the 90s, listen to that, you'll know what I'm talking about. And so I'm just going to get to work on that. And then as I thought about it, I was like, you know what? There is a very whimsical aspect to the lyrical part, but it's also very serious in the fact that what we talked about earlier, about, you know, making the ultimate sacrifice for like soldiers and sailors out there. You know what I mean? Like, a dog tag is where your story ends if that's what it's ultimately used for, right? So I just thought that was kind of serendipitous as to how it kind of worked out for both a serious but also a whimsical aspect of it being crafty and stuff. But this is my process right here. I'm just pounding out these letters, and with this metal being so thin, it kind of cups, and also it raises the letters in the back. So I use the hammer to flatten everything out. And here we go. I got my two pieces ready to roll. Boom. All right, so in the interim, while I was letting the copper dry, I added some gooiness to accentuate the lettering. So I'm just gonna go here with a little Scotch-Brite. Is it doing anything? A little bit. Can you see it a little bit better? Yeah, it looks pretty good. And we're gonna brighten it up at the same time. We're gonna get it bright. We're gonna nice and bright. Did that work out for me? Yeah, a little bit. It looks pretty good. You see it popping a little bit. It's very reflective now, so it's gonna be tough for the camera to see. However, here's where the story ends. It's a good song. Check it out. Bloop. So there we go. There's my copper dog tags. And right now I just have it chilling on just a chain that I got from the craft store. But traditionally, if you get these guys online, or if you get them from like a military surplus or something like that, right, the real deal chain, you got the little baby one on the bottom that has your one tag, and then the main loop that goes around your neck, that's going to be for the second one. Now, if you're just doing it straight away like this, where you have them jingling and jangling, I mentioned earlier that there's a little rubber protector, and pardon the painter's tape, but again, sensitive information. I don't want to give it away. And I also didn't want to take this off just to show you because it's kind of dry rotted, and I feel like if I were to attempt to take this off, it would crack and split. And I don't want to do that because these are mine, baby. So check it out. That's what it looks like though. You just put it around the edge and it will protect it from jingling and jangling. It's very annoying. Trust me, I know. I had to wear these for many, many years, and that's just how it is. I will say though that if you do make your own copper dog tags, they do not jingle nearly as loud as the real deal ones. So that's kind of nice. So you might not even need silencers, but the choice is up to you. One thing that I did do, however, is I changed the chain from the silver one to this bronzed, aged vintage bronze or whatever it's called. I just ordered a big old slew of it and cut the two chains to length. It matches the big one, little one, like you would normally see on military dog tags. But I just didn't like the contrasting nature of the silver chain with the dark copper. It was really bugging me. So there we go. Boom. I'm going to go ahead and call this video right here. And if you want to see some more copper projects that I've done, I'll leave a booyah right here. You can check that out. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.